What's up, everybody? How's it going? Thanks for stopping into this video. I got an interesting story for you today, and it's bullshit. I'm sorry to tell you, but it is absolutely insane, race-baiting bullshit. Like always, like we always get from the mainstream media. What's new? Texas school suspends student and intends to hold him out of graduation because of his dreadlocks. Now that's absurd. When I first heard this, I was like, simply because of his dreadlocks? Get out of here. What type of school, and in Texas no less, is gonna suspend a young black man for having dreadlocks? Excuse me, are they gonna suspend any white boy for having a white boy haircut? Well, yeah, they would, and we're about to get into that. But I just need to let you know off the bat that this headline does not represent the reality of the article. And that's called clickbait. That's called race baiting. It's called some bullshit, is what it's called.
People packed a Barbers Hill school board meeting tonight, fired up over the dress code.
Yeah, it's a dress code some say is outdated and racially insensitive, especially when it pertains to one student who wears dreadlocks. Marcelino Benito in Mount Bellevue with both sides tonight.
Guys, Barbers Hill ISD hasn't had a school board meeting in its history with more than 2 speakers. Tonight, 16 people spoke up against a hair policy that many say is racially charged.
I get it. You don't understand locks because ain't none of y'all black.
On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a district that touts its excellence found itself embroiled in controversy about race, discrimination, and dreadlocks.
Okay, before we get any further into this story, we need to tell you what actually happened, so we have some context to work off here and understand the rest of what's going on and how insane it actually is. Now, this is from the school superintendent, Greg Poole, and he says there is no dress code policy that prohibits any cornrow or any other method of wearing of the hair. Our policy limits length. So if this is true, and it's not about his dreadlocks, and it's simply about the length, and this is going to apply to every individual in the school, no matter what their skin color is, how do they build this story to be about race when it's clearly not? All this young man has to do is cut his dreadlocks. There is no specific policy against dreadlocks alone, only the length. Meaning Timmy and his long hair, the white kid, he'll have to cut his hair to graduate too. So please tell me how this turns into a story about dreadlocks when he's allowed to have them, just not at a certain length. Please tell me how we get to this place in news and media. Just blatantly lying in headlines about what's actually going on and singling out this one young man, and they've had a history of doing this for the last 30 years? Or could we say that someone's overreacting to a situation and reading racism into a policy that actually isn't racist? I think the latter is a better explanation of what's going on here, and from what the superintendent and the school has to say, it seems to fit.
This is a black and white issue.
The dress code is designed by white people for white people that is damaging to black bodies.
Activists stood beside DeAndre Arnold.
It makes no sense. If it's about length, it makes no sense because every single race can grow long hair. So if it's specifically about the length of your hair, it objectively has nothing to do with race. I mean, it just follows that way logically. So the guy's just being irrational for the sake of wanting to make this into a race issue for no reason. How about this? Don't take it to court. Just cut your hair like everybody else, or don't go to the school. Go to a different school. I understand that the policy may be outdated. Maybe we could argue the merits of school policy to begin with, but that's a completely separate conversation than the one that they're trying to have, that this is specifically harming black bodies, even though it never said your son can't have dreadlocks, just can't have long ones. And that's a different issue.
His family, as they address the Barbers Hill ISD school board. DeAndre has been suspended and won't be able to walk at his graduation in 3 months unless he cuts his dreadlocks.
DeAndre?
No, wrong. Unless he cuts his hair. He doesn't have to get rid of his dreadlocks. He just has to make them a certain length. But as we heard Black Lives Matter activist Ashton Wood say earlier, the dress code is designed by white people for white people and is damaging to black bodies. I think what he means to say is that this is damaging to everybody's hair across the board. So perms, watch out.
He should not have to go through this. This family should not have to go through this, but I expect it from us.
It's really simple. You don't have to go through it. Make the young man cut his hair. Story over. How many kids do you think had to cut their hair to graduate in that school if it's been a policy for 30 years? And now all of a sudden becomes a story? I don't buy it. It's bullshit.
School board that has zero diversity.
The district says this isn't about dreadlocks or race.
There is no dress code policy that prohibits any cornrow or any other method of the wearing of the hair.
And dreadlocks are not specifically black people's hair. I'm sure more black people probably have dreadlocks, but white people through history have had dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are pretty much don't wash your hair for a long time and you'll grow them. So to take their logic on board and to say even if the policy said no dreadlocks, you still couldn't necessarily say it was about race, given dreadlocks are not black people's thing. Everybody can wear them, okay? And that's a white guy telling you, all right? I'm giving you permission, so you can take that to the bank. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I should have similar content out soon, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.